Hello friends and happy Friday. Welcome back to another video. 2021 is quickly approaching, so let's talk about some money moves that you can do now before the new year. Before we get into those money moves, I do want to give those of you who may need it some encouragement and some inspiration to improve your finances, especially going into the new year. And I know 2020 has been rough for a lot of people. You may have been laid off, you may have completely lost your job, you may have lost somebody you loved, and things financially and just in general may have been more difficult for you, and I completely empathize with that. But I would just like to remind you that this is temporary, everything is temporary, and I hope that 2020 did serve as a good reminder as to why we should be in better financial standing and forever, not just during a pandemic. The other thing I wanted to share is that a lot can change in a year. I mean, we can see this for ourselves with the pandemic coming through in 2020, how much many people's lives changed in a matter of a couple of months. Now, I will say for myself that I have seen a drastic change in my finances from 2019 to 2020. I guess I wouldn't say drastic, but I would say significantly improved, because I remember in, I believe it was December of 2019, I cried at work because of money. It felt like I was constantly being set back when it came to my money. I was going through the legal issues with the person I had co-signed a car with, and I was stressed out because I had a balance on my credit card because I did a balance transfer and I thought I was doing the right thing before, and then I was realizing that I may not be able to pay that off in time. And so I was really stressed out and just feeling down about my money and not feeling hopeful about the things to come. And now that it's been a year, I can say that I'm in a much better place, and I've never felt this financially secure ever in my adult life. And it's such an amazing feeling. And I just wanted to express that to everybody here, just in case you're in a place that is negative when it comes to money, that within a year, within 3 months even, you can be in a completely different place. I got out of that co-signed car. I've paid off thousands of debt. I've built my savings to an amount I've never had before, and things just keep getting better. Take your money seriously. Take this list that I'm about to share with you seriously and actually implement these things, and you can dramatically change your life. The first money move is to simply get started. A lot of people avoid their finances. That's why so many people are uncomfortable talking about it, because sometimes they don't even know. So you need to just get started, take a look at your finances, and there's 3 main areas. So you can start saving, start paying off debt, and start investing. So when it comes to saving, maybe you want to open a high yield savings account right now. I know they're not really high yield right now, but it's a better place to store your money, to build up your emergency fund and your sinking funds. Starting your debt-free journey is huge, and honestly it's really exciting to start your debt-free journey and plan everything out. I have a whole video on this and an article on this. It will be linked down below if you need some tips for how to get started on your debt-free journey. I'm also a financial coach, so if you're looking for some help, then check out the links below. Start investing, so you could either contribute to your work retirement accounts that are offered to you, or you can start investing on your own. And outside of your job, you could open up your Roth IRA or start investing in stocks with Robinhood or Webull. You could open up your brokerage account and invest that way. There are a lot of options, but whatever it is when it comes to money, get started. Money move number 2 is to create a budget for the rest of the month and for January. I have a whole video on how to create a budget. Again, it will be linked down below, but the best way for you to start this is to look at all of your bank statements for the last 3 months and add up every single penny. Find out where your money has been going for the last 3 months. You can do this for longer if you wanted to, and then create a plan. Figure out where your problem areas are, figure out where you need to budget a little bit more money for, or where you need to cut back. And then from there, you can create something, at least a rough draft for you to work with, something that fits your lifestyle, and then adjust as necessary. And remember that your budget will change monthly. This is not a one-time thing. This is something you should do at least once a month. Next money move is to set up sinking funds. I know I touched on this a little bit, but sinking funds are amazing. And I say this all the time that I think creating sinking funds were one of the best decisions I've ever made. I believe I started my sinking funds in 2018, the end of 2018, and I have not stopped since. They have been a lifesaver for me on many occasions, and I'm so glad I have them. All that sinking funds are just savings accounts for specific things in your life. So this could be travel, car maintenance, medical and dental co-pays, money for your pets, gifts, holidays, etc., etc. So there are many options. It just depends on what you need the money for. A good way to do this is go through every month of the year and kind of take note of the main things that you need to pay for. So if you have a birthday in February, or of course there's Christmas in December, and there's this person that you need to buy a wedding gift for. So maybe you want to save $50 a month for gifts starting now. Or if there's some event happening in September, for example, there's an event that I would like to attend in September. So I'm saving $75 a month to get that ticket and also to get the flight and anything else that's associated with that. There really are no rules when it comes to sinking funds. It varies per individual. Some people like to hold their sinking funds in cash, physical cash. I keep my sinking funds in a high yield savings account, and they are separated by category. Next money move is to build up your emergency fund. So if you don't have an emergency fund right now, let's get you an emergency fund, because if this year taught you anything, hopefully it was that you need emergency savings, because anything could happen. You could lose your job, your child could get sick, you could get sick, your pet could get sick. There's all these different emergencies that could happen, and of course we don't want them to happen, but it's better to be prepared for them. Now again, emergency funds are up to the individual. So personally, I like to have at least $3,000 in my emergency fund. Eventually, I would like to get to 1 year of an emergency fund, but while I'm paying off debt, that's just not gonna work for me. With that $3,000 emergency fund, I could probably survive with no other income for a month and a half or so, and I know that's not much for a lot of people. If you have a family, that's probably not enough time for you, but it just depends on your situation and how quickly you could resolve the situation. The important thing is just continuing to save for that if it's not built up to where you want it to be. And so that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm still saving every single month for that. I will be uploading a video very soon on how to boost your savings, so keep an eye out for that. The next money move before the new year is to compare prices, and this applies to your insurance premiums, your services, so that would be like your phone bill, your cable, your Wi-Fi, and anything else that you could possibly find a better rate for. I know a lot of times we get comfortable with the provider that we have, and we're just used to that company, so we don't go out and look for better things, but you may be missing out on a really good deal or at least a promotional offer. So it is worth it to shop around and get the available deals out there, because you could save hundreds, possibly even thousands in the year by switching. For example, recently my family switched from Sprint to Verizon, and not only do we get better service, but it's cheaper per month, and at the time they were offering a rebate per line. So we got $350 per line, and so we don't have to pay our phone bill for the next 6 to 7 months or so because of that rebate. Now, if you absolutely don't want to shop around and look for other companies, then I recommend at least giving your current companies a call and seeing if they have any deals or promotional offers as a loyal customer. Next is to check your credit report. And I don't mean just your credit score, I mean your actual report. There's a website, annualcreditreport.com. This is a government mandated website, so it is safe to use and encrypted. On your credit report, you will see a breakdown of all of your accounts from the past and the present. You will see any inquiries that came onto your account, and just a lot more information available there versus when you look at your FICO score, or if you're using an app like Credit Karma. And just do a quick scan through to make sure everything looks good. And then of course, if anything does look out of place, try to fix that as soon as possible. Checking your credit report regularly is important. I know right now, because of COVID, I think they're allowing weekly credit report checks, but I'm not sure how long that will last, but it is something that you should do at least once a year, and typically they allow you to do it for free annually. Next money move is to review your employee benefits. So there may be some things that you don't completely take advantage of yet, and I highly suggest you do because it is there, and so you should. The first area are retirement accounts. If your employer offers this, then you may have a match, so double check that you are investing up to the match if that's something that you want to do, and just be sure you have a clear understanding of the vesting period and anything of that nature so that you can plan. For example, if you wanted to leave the job in a couple of months, or you had plans to do something else, then you want to make sure that you have a clear understanding of the vesting period so that you get the money that they are putting in too. And then of course, if you have extra money to invest in your retirement accounts and get that tax benefit for 2020, go ahead and do that. Then there's your insurance, health insurance, vision, dental, whatever else may be offered, life, disability. Check that those are in good standing. Check that you have a plan that actually is applicable to you and your family, or if you're just an individual, and see if maybe you could get a better deal or maybe have to increase your plan. Then you have HSAs and FSAs. I know for FSAs, you typically have to spend that money before the year ends. So is there anything left in that you need to spend before you lose it? And then for HSAs, that's a tax benefit. So you can max that out before the year ends and pay less in taxes for 2020. So that's another thing to look into. And some companies offer wellness benefits that you could take advantage of. So they may reimburse you for gym memberships. So you could start a gym membership. Maybe they contribute to your HSA if you take part in certain health and wellness activities. Maybe they offer free therapy. Just be sure you have a clear understanding of everything that your employer offers and take advantage of that if you would like to. Next is to create a debt payoff plan. I know I already said this, but I just touched on it briefly, but I think this deserves a spot on the list on its own. Like I said, I have a whole video on this and an article that I'll put down below. But usually the first step to financial freedom and just getting better with your finances is getting out of debt, because debt is very normal. A lot of people don't realize that it is just sucking the money out of your pocket. You're paying more in interest. You are spending probably more than you need to just in general, and getting out of debt will help you to shift your perspective and get on a better financial track. I also wanted to mention that if you are planning your debt-free journey, or you're currently on your debt-free journey, challenge yourself to pay off your debt quicker. Because I know when I first started back in 2017, this was a little bit before my highest total debt. So once I had to start paying my student loans, I thought I would pay this debt off, or I thought I could do it in 6 to 7 years. So this is less time than what they tell you. But then I started listening to Dave Ramsey, and I realized I could pay off my debt in 4 years or less, which is significantly faster. So challenge yourself to look into the alternatives and see what you can make happen. Next money move is more of a mental shift, but it is to become future focused, because I think about this all the time. Have you guys ever thought about how much money you would have today had you just saved 5%, just 5% of the income you were making when you were a teenager and like through your college years? Because I know for myself that I have no clue where that money went, or I do know. I know it went to clothes, I know it went to food, I know it went to stupid expenses that, looking back, I wish I did save at least a percentage of my small income. And as you're watching this now, I don't want you to look back on now and think the same thing. So you have the knowledge that you should be saving a portion of your income and investing it and creating a better financial future for yourself. So you don't want to look back on this moment and regret what you did not do. When it comes to money, it can be difficult for a lot of people to think about their future. It's easier to just think now, and living paycheck to paycheck is the easier route, honestly. It will create more stress, it will be more difficult, but that's the easier option. It's just easier for you to spend your whole paycheck on things that you want rather than paying yourself first by saving and investing. Another area where this is relevant is your health, because as I've made a video on before, the things that you can do now to save money later, health was a big part of that, because if you're taking care of your body now and feeding it good food, getting regular exercise, getting enough sleep, reading personal development books, all different areas of your life, then you will create a better and healthier future. And obviously that creates a better life in general, but will also help you to save money. The final money move is to set some personal and financial goals. I know the new year is cliche for setting goals, but I get very excited around this time. I think it's still important to set goals. I love goal setting, that's my thing. So for 2021, challenge yourself to some awesome personal and financial goals, because it gives you something to work toward and something to look forward to. I will go over my goals from 2020 in a future video, but I will just say here that around this time last year, I set a goal to start a no spend year, to commit to a no spend or low spend year for all of 2020. And now that I'm coming to the end of that, I'm so glad I did it. I stuck to it for the most part. You guys know when I end up spending money that is unnecessary. But for me, it's really changed my perspective when it comes to shopping and spending money, and it has improved my life. And I'm so glad I decided to go after that. And another thing that I did not reach is I set a goal of putting $20,000 or more to my debt. Now, I probably won't be paying off a total of $20,000 or more for 2020. But so far this year, I've paid off over $15,000 of my debt, which is crazy. So had I not even strived for that goal, I would be just like everybody else, paying the minimum payments on their debt. So it is important to set goals. I think it's important to go after them and set big ones for yourself. So don't neglect that either. And that completes my list of money moves for you to do before 2021. Comment down below which ones you will be doing, or comment down below if there's anything you would add. We can finish the year strong and make 2021 even better. I'm honestly really looking forward to it and excited for the financial things to come. But comment down below if you have any questions. Thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video.